Well, Microsoft has just announced their best business move all year, and that's Steve Ballmer retiring. I've just been completely shocked about how Microsoft has just completely collapsed this year. I mean, it's just shocking how much they care what other people think. I mean, it's affected them so badly that the only two brands they have managed to not damage are Office and Bing. Seriously, you've managed to damage every other brand, and you've confused the heck out of the customers. And if I was a stockholder of Microsoft, I would have dumped it all when you said that you were reversing all your decisions on the Xbox One. I mean, it's insane what Microsoft has done this year with all their products. First, they come out with the Surface, which was probably a bad move in the first place. Then, they confuse the heck out of everybody on marketing the Surface. You have a Surface that uses the regular Windows. Then you have this thing called Windows RT. How the heck is the customer going to know the difference between regular Windows, which will actually work with all your applications and stuff that you already have, and Windows RT, which is this weird proprietary version of Windows that's made for ARM processors that has exclusive apps that they probably won't understand, and they'll try to download apps on Internet Explorer and figure out that it doesn't work. I mean, seriously, and then have huge costs between the two? I mean, there needs to be some real evaluation of how Microsoft, talks to their consumers. Because they say, ooh, Windows, it's all integrated, it all works together. But it doesn't. Apps on Windows RT and Windows 8 regular will not work together. Microsoft would have been better off taking the Windows Mobile OS and or the Windows Phone OS and putting it on the Windows Surface. Maybe rebranding it back to Windows Mobile. But they didn't. They decided we're going to put the whole operating system on there and then make a specialized version for the cheaper version that nobody is going to understand or know how to use. Just confusing everybody. I mean, seriously, how are you supposed to enter the tablet market when your tablet has two different operating systems that won't even work together? You don't see Apple making specialized versions of iOS for the iPad mini as opposed to the regular iPad. You don't see different versions of Android, for these two specific items. You don't, because they're all supposed to work together. It's supposed to be as seamless as possible, and Microsoft is the furthest thing from seamless when it comes to integrating all these devices together. And speaking of which, Windows 8 was a disastrous launch that confused everyone who uses Windows. Let me tell you something, Microsoft. The people who actually use Windows on a daily basis aren't the same people who use tablets. People have used tablets to replace the Windows experience. The people who use Windows the most and are your most dedicated customers are people who don't use are unfamiliar with computers except for Windows. And you've managed to confuse them so badly it's not even funny. Go into someone's home who uses Windows on a daily basis that just upgraded to Windows 8. They don't know what they're doing. They go to the side of the screen to try to scroll down, and this big thing pops out on the side, and they don't know what the heck it is. You're confusing people, Microsoft. And now you want to reverse your decision on that and put a little button and literally undo everything that you tried to do with Windows 8. I mean, seriously. How can you confuse people like this? And not to mention the Xbox One. Talk about a disaster, a PR disaster. You have no excuse for what you did with the Xbox One on anything. You should have come out immediately and explained everything that you were going to do in 100% detail. Not, try to prance around it like you did and not say anything. I mean, it's ridiculous. You've managed to allow Sony to literally say nothing about their system. I mean, we almost know nothing about the PlayStation 4. We literally just don't know anything about it. All we know is a couple of games. We haven't really seen much of the system itself. And you have Microsoft on their knees begging to get customers back by showing them everything they have to offer, putting all their cards on the table. And Sony just hasn't put anything, and they're sitting relaxed. And not only that, but you've reversed all your decisions, showing that you have no spine. You have absolutely no spine, Microsoft. And this is why, these are all good things why Ballmer is quitting. I think he should have quit a long time ago, honestly. And honestly, I think Don Matrick was fine at running the company. Now you have someone who worked on Windows 8, one of the biggest disastrous launches. One of the things that's hurt Windows even more than I thought it was possible to hurt Windows. You have this person working on the Xbox One and in charge of two divisions now. This person's in charge of two divisions, the Windows and Xbox division. This person could barely handle Windows. What makes you think they could handle the Xbox? And Xbox has a very important mission statement for your company because, to be honest, Microsoft, that's the future of your company. Windows' popularity will continue to nosedive because there is no reason to really use Windows anymore. Apple and Google have built superior products that are being used, that are way more user-friendly, and that are being used by way more people, and will soon engulf the average computer usage. People will use Windows at office and maybe in the library, but, the few people who actually want to use computers, that will still want to use Windows in the future, are people who don't want to use mobile phones or tablets, and people who want to game on PC, which are both of those are becoming even more and more niche markets. So, what is Microsoft going to do? Microsoft, your future is Xbox, but you just don't realize it. And you're gambling everything on Xbox. You're gambling it all away by not sticking to your guns, by ruining relations with developers, by reversing all these decisions that would have helped them, and not only that, but forcing them to pretty much redesign their entire thinking of developing for your platform. It's just ridiculous. There has to be something that they could do better. And with Ballmer gone, I have a little more confidence in Microsoft in the future. But we'll have to see. Because I have a feeling that the person that's going to replace Ballmer, and I already have a pretty good idea who it's going to be, is going to continue on this road of trying to please everybody. You can't please everyone, because you're only setting yourself up for failure. The only way to get to failure is to try to please everybody, because you're going to end up messing up somewhere, and it's probably going to be with the people who trusted you in the first place. Those are the people you're going to hurt most, because trying to appease yourself and make yourself look more and more like your competition will only inevitably make you a worser version of your competition. And Microsoft used to lead the market and push. They used to push. Look at this generation, the Xbox 360. They pushed Sony to have achievements, like an achievement-like system. They pushed Sony to push online. They pushed Sony, and we only got better and better products out of it, because Microsoft took the first steps to mandate a lot of this stuff that Sony was unwilling to do. And can you imagine an industry led by Sony again? I don't want that to happen. I want the two consoles to be as neck and neck as possible, because that's how things get better. But if Sony leads the way again, we'll have another stagnation period like we did with the PlayStation 2, where nothing was really innovated and the system was as boring and stale, and without, the support of third parties, it would have been nothing. So let's see. Here's to hoping that the next CEO of Microsoft is a lot better than Ballmer.